Controls on the dialog box. You use controls to specify a value or apply settings on a car or any other gadget. Similarly, you use controls on the dialog box to give input to the program. Depending on what type of data is needed by the program, it places different types of controls. A dialog box contains controls like tabs, buttons, checkboxes, and text boxes. Just as a multiple-page telephone directory is divided into different alphabets, a dialog box is divided into different tabs. You can think of a tab as a dialog box page. Tabs are placed on the dialog box when all the required controls do not fit in it. When you choose Character Spacing tab on our sample, the controls associated with it are displayed on the Font dialog box. To switch to another tab, either click on it or press Ctrl plus Tab in any combination. Dialog box buttons are like push buttons on any gadget. They trigger an action and briefly describe the associated action in 1 or 2 words. Most of the dialog boxes will contain at least 2 buttons, OK and Cancel. Clicking OK applies the changes made, while Cancel aborts them. The Apply button, if present, activates all options chosen in the dialog box but does not close the dialog box. Note that clicking the Close X button on the top of the dialog box will not apply the changes you have made to the settings. Checkboxes are used for settings which can either be selected or omitted. As shown in the example, you can either give shadow effect to the selected text or omit it. A tick mark inside the checkbox indicates that the corresponding setting has been applied. To put a tick mark, click inside the empty checkbox. Clicking inside a checkbox reverses the current settings, so you can toggle between selected and the clear state. Radio buttons or option buttons lets you choose one option from 2 or more mutually exclusive options. In our sample, when you select Center, the rest are automatically deselected. To select an option using the mouse, click inside the circle. To select an option using the keyboard, use the right or down arrow key to select the next option, and the left or up arrow key to select the previous option. A drop-down list is like a menu where only the current selected option is shown. A drop-down list contains a downward-pointing arrow at the extreme right. To open other options, click on this arrow using the mouse. Alternatively, press Alt plus the down arrow. You can select the desired option by first highlighting and subsequently clicking on it. If the list has more options than those shown in the dropped box, a vertical scroll bar will automatically be placed. You can use up or down arrow keys to move through the options. One can type the first letter of an option to jump to that particular part of the list. A list box is like a drop-down box, except here you don't have to open the box. If the list has more options than those shown in the list box, a vertical scroll bar will automatically be placed. You can select the desired option by first highlighting and subsequently clicking on it. You can use the up arrow or down arrow keys to move through the options. One can type the first letter of an option to jump to that particular part of the list. We can use the Home key to go to the top of the list and End to go to the end. A slider control lets you choose a value from a range of values. The values change when you drag the button placed over the bar. For example, sound volume can be adjusted using a slider control. Similarly, transparency levels can also be increased or decreased using the slider control. A spin box has a type area and 2 buttons. These boxes are used to set numeric values. You can type the desired value in the type area or increase or decrease values using the up and down arrow buttons respectively. For example, to specify that 2 copies need to be printed, one can either type the value 2 or use the buttons. To get additional information about the tools of the dialog box, you can make use of the Help button. First, click the Help button and then the tool whose information you want. Our example displays help about the Show the Clock checkbox.